I am going to present about language of Japanese. Before that, let me introduce myself first. I am Nur Aisyah Srimati Raizat. My metric number is 01DPM20F2008. First of all, introduction of Japanese language. Japanese Nihongo is the official language of Japan. It is an East Asian language spoken natively by about 128 million people, primarily by Japanese people and primarily in Japan. Japanese belongs to the Japonic, which is Japanese Ryukyuan language family, and its classification with other language families is unclear. Japanese is divided by two forms, namely Hyujungo, which means standard speech, and Kyotsugo, which means general speech. Hyujungo is a form taught in school and used on television and all official communications. Next is Japanese dialects. The Japanese dialect called Hogen is a variation of the Japanese language that varies according to the user and its region in Japan. The Japanese language that became the lingua franca in Japan is called Hyojungo and Kyotsugo, which was originally based on Tokyo dialect. There are many types of Japanese dialects. The first one is Eastern Japanese. This dialect is divided by four types, which is Hokkaido dialect, Tohoku dialect, Kanto dialect, and Tokai-Tosan dialect. Tokai-Tosan dialect has three types, which is Nagano, Yamanashi, Shizuoka, Echigo, and Gifu Aichi. Second dialect is Western Japanese, Hokuriku dialect, Kansai dialect, Chugoku dialect, Shikoku dialect, and Unpaku dialect. The third one is Kyushu. It is divided by three, Honichi dialect, Hichiku dialect, and Sotsugu dialect. The last one is Ryukyu Island. There are two dialects here, which is Northern Ryukyu and Southern Ryukyu. For Northern Ryukyu, there are three languages with this kind of dialect: Amami language, Kunigami language, and Okinawa language. For Southern Ryukyu, it has four languages, which is Miyako language, Yayama language, Yonaguni language, and Okinawa Japanese or Uchina Yamatoguchi. Western Japanese still makes prevalent use of Chinese characters known as Han characters. The Japanese writing system uses unique syllabic scripts derived by the Japanese from the more complex Chinese characters. The Japanese alphabet have three writing systems that work together. These three systems are called Hiragana, Katakana, and Kanji. Hiragana is the backbone to all Japanese learning. It helps us to learn the basics of pronunciation in Japanese and start to understand the building blocks of the language. Hiragana characters represent the 46 primary sounds used in Japanese and are usually used to write words that are originally Japanese. We can organize them by the consonant they start with and the vowel that follows. For vowel order, in learning Japanese, we use A, I, U, E, O. Katakana is a phonetic alphabet. Each letter represents the sound of a syllable like English ABC. However, letter itself has no meaning. Katakana and Hiragana represents exactly the same set of sounds. Katakana is used mostly for foreign loan words. Conveniently, the Katakana character set covers the same sounds as Hiragana. Some of the characters even look a bit similar, like Mo and Ya.
Hi, my name is Farah Nur Humaira binti Suhaizat and my matrix number is 10DPM20F2001. Now, I will continue with educations in Japan. First and foremost is school timetable. Public schools in Japan have classes 5 days a week from Monday to Friday. There are also schools that have classes on Saturday. In junior high and high schools, there are 6 class periods each day, typically lasting 50 minutes for each. After classes, students clean the classrooms in shifts and then start their club activities. There are a variety of clubs such as cultural and sports one. Secondly, academic calendar. In principle, the school year begins in April and ends in March of the following year. Most schools adopt a 3-semester system, with the first semester from April to August, the second semester from September to December, and the third semester from January to March. There is also a summer break from the end of July to the end of August, a winter break from the end of December to the beginning of January, and a spring break from the end of March to the beginning of April. Last but not least is about school organization. Each school has a principal, a vice principal, teachers, a school nurse, and other administration staff. As the chief executive, the principal assumes all responsibilities of the school, including the courses provided and related administrative work. The vice principal supports the principal to manage administrative affairs of the school and to be in charge of students' educational activities and curriculum as well. Furthermore, in order to ensure school's smooth operation, teachers take on various responsibilities such as taking care of educational activities, students' school life, and employment guidance for students after graduation. Many schools also establish their own committees, for example, an International Exchange Promotion Committee and others. Now, I would like to talk about special features of Japanese education. Regarding the level of education, the level of Japanese education is high even by world standards. In OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, also known as PISA, aimed at 15-year-olds, Japanese students recorded high levels of achievement, particularly in science-related areas. Educational activities outside of school also flourish, and programs leading to advanced education are implemented. Enrollment in high schools, the second half of secondary education, reaches over 90%, and the enrollments in college are also high, reaching over 50%. Admission to high schools and college is mainly through entrance exams held from January to March. Next, foreign language education. English is a compulsory subject in junior high and high schools. There are also elementary schools that introduce English education from intermediate grade classes. In some high schools, apart from English, students are also allowed to take courses in Chinese, Korean, French, German, and etc. Lastly, student clubs. Student clubs are a characteristic part in Japan's school education. Under teachers' guidance, students with the same interest in sports, cultural activities, or fields of study voluntarily gather together after classes and on days off. There are also numerous student clubs revolving around Japanese traditional sports and culture, such as judo, kendo, which is Japanese swordsmanship, sado, Japanese tea ceremony, kado, Japanese flower arrangement, shodo, Japanese calligraphy, and etc. Club activities also provide students with the chance to participate in school exchange and friendly matches.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azrin Adina binti Mazumali and my number matric is 01DPM20F2014. Today I want to present about religion in Japan. In Japan there has two religions, which is Shinto and Buddhist. Shinto is the old Japan's culture, while Buddhist was imported from the mainland in the 6th century. Since then, the two religions have been coexisting relative harmonies and have even complemented each other to a certain degree. Most Japanese consider themselves as Buddhist, Shinto, or both. Last but not least, religion does not play a big role in the everyday life of most Japanese people today. The average person typically follows the religion rituals at ceremonies like births, weddings, and funerals. may visit a shrine or temple on New Year and participate at local festivals like Matsuri, most of which have a religion background. That's all from me. Next, I will pass this presentation to my friend to continue our presentation.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, and my name is Karunsa binti Mota, and my matrix number is 01PM20F2016. Okay, now I will continue our presentation, and I will talking about manners and custom for Japan. So first, don't point finger at others and don't stare into others' people's eyes. The act of pointing a finger at another person is an uncivilized act. Most Japanese people are not accustomed to the act of staring at the eyes for long periods of time while conversing. Okay, second is not rush to impress. Japanese society attach great importance to the principle of maintaining order and mutual harmony called wano kokoro, rather than individual freedoms. Therefore, rushing to be eye-catching and different from the people around is not liked by most Japanese people. Okay, for the third, smoking on the street is an uncivilized act. Smoking and littering on the street are prohibited act in most provinces under established ordinance. Lately, there have been many public places and restaurants that completely ban from smoking and have some even segregate places for smoking. For the fourth, garbage need to be segregated before disposal. In Japan, you are prohibited from throwing trash everywhere. If there is no trash bin nearby, save your trash to take home. When disposing of rubbish in the bins provided, be sure to be separated the rubbish according to categories such as combustible rubbish, non-combustible rubbish, PET bottle, and cans. In terms of hygiene, Japanese society have received education on hygiene practice since kindergarten. And at the school level, there is also time allocated to clean the classroom. The act of not bothering others is a noble value that has been inculcated since childhood, as is the attitude of using public facility together. Stop altogether acts such as spitting or throwing chewing gum on the road, as well as act of walking side by side that can invite discomfort to others. Okay, next we go to the custom, Japanese custom. First, we have bowing. In Japan, people greet by bowing to one another. A bow can range from a small nod of the head to a deep bend at the waist. A deeper, longer bow indicates sincere respect, while a small nod is more casual and informal. Additionally, bowing with your palms together at chest level is not customary in Japan. If the greeting takes place on tatami floor or a type of a mat, people get on their knees to bow. Bowing is not only used to greet, but also to thank, apologize, make a request, or ask someone a favor. Most Japanese do not expect foreigners to know the people bowing etiquette. A combination of bow and shaking hands is usually expected from foreigners.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Izzati binti Idris. My matric number is 01 DPM20F2012. Today I would like to present about attitude as well as value and norms. There are several values of attitude and culture of the Japanese community in international business among them. First, the importance of relationship. In Japanese traditional culture, individuals are considered in the context of their social relationships. Relationships are paramount in Japan. Structure and complete of social norms govern every type of interpersonal relationship. Next, member of a group and corporate. Japanese social give a great deal and importance to the groups or community and its social function as a nucleus around which work and life revolve. Thus, the individual exists a member of the groups. His behavior should be polite and appropriate to promote corporate wishes. 3. Social hierarchy and respect for age. The veteran structure of Japanese social is based on the Confucian concept of social hierarchy, which claims specific and the responsibility of prerogative that govern the relationship between individuals. Among the most important are respect for the elderly and definitely seniority. Next, harmony between groups members. Harmony is understood to mean avoid direct confrontation in daily life. Conflict arises from the relationship members, one person and others, and harmony between groups members. It is a result of finding the appropriate way to adapt one's own wish to the requirement of others. And last but not least, self-control and self-discipline. In a situation of crisis Japanese, people will try to retain their self-control and their self-discipline, no matter what. Self-control means to be able to conceal one feeling, emotion, and reaction in any situation. Self-discipline is the capacity to purchase what one considers and is correct temptation and to do what others wish.